The Dallas Cowboys enter this offseason at a crossroads that feels both familiar and unusually volatile. A franchise balancing star power with structural uncertainty, immediate contention with long-term caution, and headline-making decisions with the quiet realities of roster construction. After a turbulent 2025 campaign that still managed to hover near relevance largely because of elite quarterback play, the organization now faces a sequence of interconnected choices that will shape not only the upcoming season, but the identity of the team for years to come. Everything begins with the undeniable truth that Dak Prescott is still the axis around which the entire operation spins. Finishing the season ranked among the very best quarterbacks in football, Prescott didn't just produce numbers. He stabilized a roster that too often felt incomplete. His 4,552 passing yards and 30 touchdowns were not empty statistics compiled in meaningless moments. They were the lifeline that kept Dallas competitive when the defense faltered, when the running game disappeared for stretches, and when the roster churn created instability week to week. The front office knows that wasting seasons of this caliber is the fastest path to organizational regret. Maximizing Prescott's window means surrounding him with dependable pass catchers, protecting him with continuity up front, and ensuring the defense can close games he helps lead. That is where the George Pickens dilemma becomes a defining storyline. Pickens delivered a career-best season catching passes from Prescott, evolving into the type of physical, vertical threat that changes defensive game plans. Now the Cowboys must decide whether to commit long-term or apply the franchise tag, a move that would guarantee a massive one-year salary while potentially straining future cap flexibility. The tag offers control, but not harmony. It buys time, but not certainty. If Dallas uses it, the entire $28 million cap hit lands immediately, limiting their ability to address other needs. Yet letting Pickens walk would strip Prescott of a primary weapon just as the offense appears capable of becoming elite again. Negotiations will likely stretch into the summer, creating the kind of tension that has become synonymous with Cowboys off-seasons. While the offense wrestles with contractual chess matches, the defense faces an equally urgent decision that may not dominate national headlines, but could determine whether the unit rebounds or collapses again. Jadeveon Clowney's resurgence in 2025 was one of the few bright spots on that side of the ball. At 32 years old, he became the team's most disruptive pass rusher, leading the roster with 8.5 sacks despite starting only 6 games. His production wasn't merely statistical padding, it was impact football. Quarterback pressures at critical moments, forced turnovers, and the veteran awareness that younger players often lack. Letting that walk out the door would create a void that cannot easily be filled through the draft or bargain free agency. Clowney's value extends beyond numbers. He represents leadership in a locker room searching for a defensive identity after coaching changes and schematic instability. The arrival of new defensive leadership offers hope for a turnaround, and Clowney appears motivated by the possibility of being part of that transformation. His desire to re-sign early and participate fully in off-season programs signals something rare in modern NFL negotiations: genuine buy-in. For a team that has struggled with continuity, retaining a veteran who wants to be there matters as much as any stat line. Prioritizing his return could stabilize the pass rush while allowing younger defenders to develop without being forced into roles they are not ready to handle. If you're enjoying this deep breakdown and want more analysis like this on the Cowboys offseason chess moves, make sure to subscribe and stay locked in, because the decisions unfolding right now will define the franchise's trajectory for the next decade. Complicating everything is Dallas' philosophical approach to the salary cap. Unlike franchises that push money into future years to assemble short-term super teams, the Cowboys have leaned toward restraint, even when fans demand aggressive spending. The organization has the theoretical ability to create enormous cap space through restructures, potentially over $100 million, but doing so would mortgage future flexibility. The caution stems from a belief that today's splash can become tomorrow's burden, trapping the roster in cycles of dead money and forced retention of declining players. This conservative approach frustrates supporters who crave bold moves, yet it has allowed the team to remain competitive rather than collapsing under financial mismanagement. That caution also influences decisions on players like defensive tackle Kenny Clark. Acquired in a blockbuster trade, Clark was expected to anchor the interior defensive line, but financial realities now make his future uncertain. A massive upcoming cap hit, combined with the presence of other expensive defensive tackles, creates a situation where Dallas may explore trades or pay cuts rather than outright release. Moving Clark would not necessarily be an indictment of his performance, but a reflection of roster economics. The modern NFL is as much about accounting as athleticism, and every dollar allocated to one player limits flexibility elsewhere. Meanwhile, retrospective evaluations of recent drafts reveal another layer of complexity. Questions about whether different selections could have accelerated the team's development underscore how thin the margin for error has become. When late-round picks fail to contribute immediately, depth suffers, forcing veterans into heavier workloads and exposing weaknesses when injuries strike. Coaching changes in the secondary and backfield development suggest the organization believes improvement can come from within, but relying on internal growth carries risk in a conference loaded with ascending contenders. All of these threads converge on a single reality. The Cowboys are trying to thread the needle between immediate contention and sustainable success. Re-signing Clowney strengthens the defense now. Securing Pickens preserves the offensive ceiling. Managing the cap carefully protects future seasons. Deciding Clark's fate reshapes the defensive interior. None of these choices exist in isolation. Each move influences the others, forming a delicate ecosystem where one miscalculation can ripple across the roster. As the franchise tag window opens and negotiations intensify, Dallas stands at a moment that feels less like a routine offseason and more like a referendum on its operational philosophy. Will they push aggressively to capitalize on Prescott's elite play? Will they maintain fiscal discipline even if it costs short-term star power? Or will they attempt a hybrid approach that satisfies neither extreme but keeps the team competitive? The answers will emerge not through a single headline move, but through a series of calculated decisions that reveal how the organization truly views its championship window. The coming months will test whether the Cowboys can transform cautious competence into decisive progress. Fans have heard promises before, seen talented rosters fall short, and watched opportunities slip away. This offseason offers a chance to rewrite that narrative, to align elite quarterback play with a defense capable of closing games and a roster built not just for highlights, but for January football. If Dallas gets these decisions right, the foundation for a legitimate title run will be in place. If not, another season of what-ifs will follow. Stay with us as we continue breaking down every twist in this unfolding drama, because the moves made now will echo through the season and possibly define the legacy of this era of Cowboys football.